How we doing, everybody? This is Let's Be Real Brad, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 best comic book films of the decade, the 2010s. 2010s have had the rise of the superhero films. These films have topped the box office, topped the popularity, and I look back on these past 10 years and it's insane of how fast these superhero films have gone, and to the point where any superhero film that comes out by Marvel is gonna be on top of the box office charts and everyone's gonna be talking about them. As far as DC goes, well, you DC fanboys can just rip me up because most of their films just aren't that good. Getting that out of the way, we're going with number 10, SpiderMan Homecoming. This version of Spider-Man is the first time we've seen Spider-Man in his own feature film after being in Captain America Civil War, which he gave a great little cameo performance that he had somewhat of a role in that I thought was really enjoyable. I have a great villain of Michael Keaton as the Vulture that they were supposed to use in the Raimi trilogy in Spider-Man 4, which I'm very sad about. I just want a Spider-Man 4. Can I just get a Spider-Man 4? Spider-Man Homecoming feels so new and so refreshed as we're getting not even an origin story of Spider-Man. We're getting right into it. We know the story of Spider-Man at this point. There's been so many countless Spider-Man films, and considering Amazing Spider-Man 2 films were just not really successful and overall just being mediocre to just basically terrible, now we're getting this new fresh take on the character that's actually young, like a young Spider-Man, and not like this college kid playing a high schooler, which we've gotten twice. I think this was just so much fun. It was just this coming of age story that I really enjoyed, and I think this is a movie that needs to be on this list. Number 9 on this list is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is a film that I really love. I love the style, I love the passion, and I love the creativity James Gunn uses with these characters. Considering taking these unknown characters and just making them something so special and so interesting is something that he did with the first film and that translated to the second one. Sure, the second one isn't as good as the first one, but I think they're both equal. I would probably give them the same rating, to be honest. I think the first one is better, which will be later on this list, spoiler alert. But I think Guardians 2 does some things a little bit better than the first one, but the first one does a little bit better than the second one. But it feels like it works perfectly, coincide with the first one. As all the other Guardians of the Galaxy quips that you like, expanding the universe. It's just a film that it feels so distinct in all the other Marvel films that I just have to have on this list. Number 8 on this list is a Marvel film, but it is not a MCU film. It is actually a 20th Century Fox film, well, now 20th Century Studios film, X-Men Days of Future Past. This is a film that took the new X-Men characters and they put them with the old X-Men characters, and they created this awesome film that took the comics of the Days of Future Past and they did their own version of it with Wolverine now going back into the past. What I love is they took the best elements from the original series, the best elements from the new series, and they put them together for this awesome film that is just so entertaining, has an amazing special effects, has a really great story with some really great characters. Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy are massive standouts, as long with Hugh Jackman being Wolverine. He is just awesome in this film, and he is Wolverine. I mean, it's going to be hard to replace him. This was probably Jennifer Lawrence's last great performance as Mystique, as I think parts of the film she's kind of but there's some parts where she's really good in the film, but this is where you can start to see it teeter a little bit with Jennifer Lawrence's performance. Overall, this is one that I really love, and I'm a big X-Men fan, so this is definitely one of my favorite X-Men films. Next on the list is number 7, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier is the one film that I feel like really changed the Marvel universe. Sure, you have the Avengers that really changed the landscape of how big a Marvel movie could be, but I think Winter Soldier really changed dramatic elements, as you have the Russo brothers coming in here, writing and directing the film, and they made the film have more stakes, more things that could actually have consequences, and that is what they've done in the rest of their films. This is this rough and tough and gritty Captain America film that made Captain America such a more interesting character than what he normally is, the Mr. America, patriotic, fight for his country. They made him so convoluted, and they had this moral dilemma with Bucky. Chris Evans is great, and Scarlett Johansson really doesn't get a bigger role as Black Widow in this film, and they really shine, and their chemistry is excellent in the film. Next on the list is number 6, Captain America Civil War. This is one of my favorites, as I really enjoy Civil War so much. Sure, it's got some of its problems, and that's why it's going to be a little bit lower on the list, but I truly love Civil War. I love the fact that you have these two sides that they use from the comics of Civil War, and they use it so well in this film, in the universe that it's set in. You can see both sides, and the film challenges you into saying what is right, what is wrong, because I've seen some people say, well, the film is trying to say that Cap is right, but then I've seen some people that say, no, the film's trying to say Iron Man's right. And I'm going to say, I think the film is allowing you to choose who you think is right. Because in all honesty, the movie makes it pretty clear that each side feels very differently. It makes it interesting because when you have the events of Age of Ultron actually truly matter to this part of the story, and like how that really affected the other people, the people that don't get talked about in these films, the people that are getting hurt or people getting killed by these actions, the superheroes may not be thinking about trying to stop a villain. You know, that is a very interesting concept. The Russo brothers also directed this and wrote the film, and that's why it feels like there's also consequences, as I said in The Winter Soldier. The ending in the film is awesome. I really love the ending, as I feel as though it ends off on the right note, and it makes you feel like, what's going to happen next? I have no idea where we're going with this story and how it's going to affect all the other MCU films. Number 5 on this list is The Avengers. This is the first time we have seen this big team up together for this big, action-packed, super fun movie. Of course, this movie doesn't have character development as you would see in a normal film. This is the one film you have to watch the other films to understand and try to enjoy this film. The films kind of took a hit from being origin stories. I think Iron Man is probably the best one, and then the other ones have a lot of issues and they really don't hold up as well, but The Avengers holds up beautifully today because it's just a straightforward team up movie trying to fight Loki and all of his demon creatures. It's extremely fun, has hilarious moments, has really cool action sequences. It's truly hard not to like this movie. I mean, if you look too deep into it, you're not going to like it, but it's just a dumb, cheesy, really fun comic book film that I just simply can't get enough of. Well, except this Captain America costume. Boy, does it suck. Next on this list, at number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy. As I was saying about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, James Gunn takes these group of unknown characters and makes them what they are, super popular. No one could have really predicted how well these characters would have done. And now they've just become a staple that people really want more Guardians of the Galaxy films because they feel like they're their own thing. They feel so separate. They don't feel like they have to be what Marvel tells them to. They have to link up with everything else. Because since they are in space and dealing with different creatures and different alien forms, they introduce so many other concepts to the Marvel Universe that it feels so separate from everything that's happening on Earth. The cinematography is gorgeous, the humor is excellent, the pacing is very well done. Overall, it's just so entertaining with this amazing cast. I am Groot. Sorry, that was a bad impression. I apologize for that. Number 3 on this list is Avengers Infinity War. Now, you're probably wondering, is Avengers Endgame ever going to make this list? Well, unfortunately, no, it's not, because Endgame is a good film, but I'm not going to put this on this list. You guys can all cry all you want, but seeing this film like 4 times, it's not as good as Infinity War. Infinity War, what it does so well is it takes all these group of characters, kind of branches them off into different areas and makes it so entertaining. We're getting a bunch of team up of all these characters who haven't really met each other before, as right now we're getting the Guardians of the Galaxy in here, we're getting Spider-Man, we're getting Doctor Strange, all these people teaming up, and it's just so much fun. We're finally getting the return of Thanos. We've seen all these post-credit scenes and we're like wondering, when is Thanos going to show up? When is he going to be a presence? And man, he shows his power and dominance in every scene of this film. This is more of a Thanos origin story, and I think it works so well as they make him such an interesting and complicated character. There are loads of endless, memorable action sequences, tons of memorable lines. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is my 4th favorite movie of all time, so I'm a little bit biased towards this one, but I truly do think this is the best MCU film because the ending of this film changes everything, and for Marvel diehards, you know how it's going to go. Number 2 on this list, I have not mentioned yet, Logan. Logan is the film that we didn't know we necessarily needed when they initially announced it, but it sounded so perfect, and it works so well with James Mangold behind the camera with a fantastic script that ended up getting a nomination for, which I was very, very surprised. Logan is the perfect send-off for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It takes this awesome story with Wolverine, Professor Xavier, and it feels like its own thing. Sure, it's connected to the other X-Men films in a way, but it feels like it's in its own universe where it's extremely violent with the hard R rating. And this is what really started off. People really wanted this hard R rating for their films, and that's why Joker got that treatment. This film absolutely deserved it with just insanely bloody and action-filled moments for Wolverine, just slicing people's heads off, blood everywhere, and it just feels like the perfect Wolverine film that we've always wanted but we never got, and it always felt a little tame at times. Has the perfect send-off. The movie is so excellent, and I don't know if there's a better way you could have done this. Number one has to be, hit the drum roll, Fantastic Four, also known as Fan Four Stick. Incredible movie, 10 out of 10, hands down. Yeah, right. A million years that would be. Movie stinks. Okay, for real. My number one is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This film is tremendous. I've seen this movie just so many times. I remember seeing this the first time at the movie theater, Thursday night, 9:30 at night. And I could not believe how spectacular, how exciting, and how embracive this film was. Talk about its amazing and creative animation style that looks like it's just a comic book flowing off the page. With excellent characters, and especially with Miles Morales we have never seen on screen before, is awesome. I love how there's so many different Spider-Man in this film, and they all work together so cohesively that you would think on paper it wouldn't work at all, but it does so much. This is a film that needed to make more money at the box office. It is so sad that people just saw this as an animation film and didn't realize this is not really just a kid's film. I think this film is really for everybody. Nothing about this film really feels babyish to me, if I'm being honest. Even Peter Porker is like a Looney Tunes version of Spider-Man, and at times he could feel a little cartoonish and a little babyish, but like he fits so perfectly for his character, and he has a ton of great lines. It almost doesn't feel childish to me, and plus he's voiced by John Mulaney, and he's just excellent in the film. Nick Cage is Spider-Man Noir, and I didn't know I needed that, and he's just one of my favorite characters because I want a whole Spider-Man Noir animated movie with Nicolas Cage. Can someone make this happen for me, please? I will pay you like $200 million to make this movie happen. Come on, let's do it. It just feels so innovative. It feels so alive. Every scene always keeps me in. It makes me not want to leave this film. I never get bored anytime I watch this movie. The editing is perfect. The music choices, I think, are really, really great for the film. I don't love every song in the film, but I think it works for the style and the presentation they're going with the film. I can't really find anything to hate about this film. You could sure have nitpicks and have some plot holes here and there for this film, but really, if we're going to be honest, I don't think it takes away from my true enjoyment every time I watch this movie. This is a film you have to get on 4K. It looks excellent with the HDR colors popping off the screen. It is such a beautiful film, and it is my favorite and best comic book film of the 2010s. Let me know down below, what is your top 10 of the decade for comic book films? Please like, share the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps to the channel. So thank you to everyone who has been doing those things and been watching my videos. You guys have been a huge support, and I want to keep growing the channel and give you guys the best content that I can give. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.